How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Challenger. I'm your host, Julian, with my co host,
Daniel.
and we're going to talk about Osmosis Jones today. How'd you feel about the film? Let's talk about it.
All right, well, I guess I'll give my 2 cents first. Well, I haven't seen this movie since ninth grade, so I'm gonna say my memory of it before I saw it was a little fuzzy, because I try to bury down my high school memories as much as I can because it's high school. What else are you gonna do with those memories? Embrace them? Ha! Yeah,
Did you watch it
right.
during high school first?
Yeah, I did. Well, no, I watched it as a kid first, then I saw the TV show, then I saw it again after like a few years in high school. And that was the last time I saw the movie
Oh,
until
that's
now.
why.
That's why.
Oh, so you don't remember
So yeah,
the high school
I didn't see
viewing?
the movie still. I didn't see the movie since high school.
I see. But you don't
Yeah.
remember the high school viewing, so it's even further back.
Of course, yeah. Like I'm talking about like 10, maybe 12 years old since I've seen the movie. So you're looking at about a 7 to 9 year age gap.
Yeah, this is an interesting movie. The basic synopsis is a guy is very dirty, has a bad lifestyle, and eats a lot of dirty stuff.
I mean, it's more
And
poor hygiene and like he eats unhealthy. That's why.
yes, so he has a really terrible lifestyle, and then eventually gives him this disease called Thrax. And basically, his cop, and his buddy, go and try to find a way to stop him in a buddy cop style. Obviously, eventually he does. But the interesting thing about this film is that it has two dynamics. One is live action with the daughter and the father, and the other one's about the buddy cop. And so the daughter and the father is about basically how the daughter and father's a failure to the daughter, and really isn't able to have her be happy in certain ways,
Yeah,
and
and
he feels bad about
just
it.
a quick clarification though, the buddy cop aspect takes place inside Bill Murray's body because Bill Murray's the main guy in this movie, but the buddy cop thing are actually a white blood cell and a pill because you never said that actually. That's
Oh,
why.
that's true. And
Yeah.
also, the inside is animated.
Yeah, the inside's animated while the whole outside is live action. So yeah, there's a quick clarification. Continue.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you could tell that this film had multiple directions since it has the live action is very gross out. You can tell it was by the guys who did stuff like Dumber and Dumber and certain other films, whereas the animated one has a little bit more restraint, and it's not as much gross out, and is talking more about how the human body works, and that's why it's taught in schools and stuff somewhat, because it's a fun way to learn about certain body parts and how they function.
It's kind of weird though. You'd expect the opposite actually, where the human aspect holds back, while you could really do a whole deep dive into the whole animated side with the human body.
Yeah,
At least that's what I figured it would be.
yeah, it's an interesting aspect to it, and also the live action did hold it back a little bit, as this was also, I mean, our previous film was also we talked about was a financial flop, which was the thing. This one was also financial flop, as it had a $70 million budget and only made 10 million,
Hmm. Not bad, not bad.
which also
I mean,
then
yeah.
make it become a slightly it became a cult classic, but more in the minor side, whereas the one we talked about previously became a major cult classic. But people still
Oh yeah,
remember
of
this.
course,
It's pretty good film, at least the animated sections.
of course, yeah. Because you always say like, oh yeah, the animated part is your favorite part, and you could literally disregard the whole live action parts.
Yeah, honestly, with that, barring a couple of scenes, you really don't need it at all, and you can make them pretty short if you wanted to. You could
Hmm.
cut down the film quite a bit if you just didn't have the live action parts.
Oh, and this film is already pretty short as it is either way. But yeah, let's go back into the characters. Our main character, well, basically our main animated character, is a white blood cell called Osmosis Jones. Ergo, the title Osmosis Jones, and he's kind of like the whole screw up in a sense. Like he's not a rookie because he's been on the force for quite a period of time. They haven't explained that yet, but he's also not been on long enough to be like, oh yeah, I'm a hardcore detective thing. Like he made some mistakes. Like, he's in the weird area, like in between phases, like having a good rep between being still considered a rookie. That's how it is. Like because he makes impulse decisions mostly. The whole one scene where Bill Murray eats like a bad oyster and Osmosis Jones like forces him to throw up in a sense.
Oh,
So yeah,
this is it. Is that he's still a rookie, but he's almost there to becoming a veteran.
yeah, that's what it is. Right, he's like has a few years on the force on, you could tell, but the fact that he still makes all these impulse decisions made like, oh yeah, he doesn't have that much experience on the force.
Yeah, and then there's
Yeah,
the new guy who's the pill. He's called Drix, right?
yeah, Drixonol, but Osmosis calls him Drips with a PS instead of an X.
Yeah.
So yeah, their whole dynamic is that, oh yeah, Drix is a stickler for the rules, while Osmosis basically does like his whole back alley kind of cop deal, in a sense, like how you would normally see like a whole rookie cop do, be like, oh, I'll take this shortcut, this, that, and everything, like, so like following the book by the book.
Yeah, and then there's the villain of this, which is Thrax, and he's definitely the highlight of the whole film. Even the anime, it's like, as he's got that very, if he wants something done, he'll get
He's
it
gonna
done.
do it.
He'll
Yeah,
immediately kill you with one touch, or just snap your neck, or anything like that.
of
And
course.
there's
And part of that
no
has to,
there's no yes or no. It's just I'm doing it.
of course, and then part of that has to do with like his voice actor, Lawrence Fishburne, literally fucking freaking Morpheus plays this guy. And I'm thinking like, what the hell? How did they get this guy to play him? Like, honestly, that still astounds me to this day. Like, how they get Lawrence Fishburne to voice a guy like this?
I mean, they got Chris Rock to be. They got Chris Rock and Bill Murray. That's already two big roles.
I know that's one, but I'm thinking like, you have Morpheus, man. You have the dude from Friday. You have freaking the Bowery King from John Wick. Like, I know, like he's more known for his serious roles. That's why it surprised me, because Chris Rock and Bill Murray are have more comedic movies under the belt than for Lawrence Fishburne. That's why.
Yeah, but
That's what's really surprising me.
I mean, you could say Lawrence Fishburne later on did Blackish though, and things like that.
That's true.
So this could have been one of the ones where he's like, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, it just that shows you that a lot of the budget did come to the voice actors, and maybe they should have
Yeah, like,
maybe cut back a little bit. But also the whole thing of having 4 directors, and it's crazy too because the animated director is like, I mean, you know who it is, right?
no,
It's Tom Cito. You know who Tom Cito is, right?
vaguely. I gotta admit, I
Dude,
vaguely know who this guy is.
He worked on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, Pocahontas, Fantasia, Dinosaur, and he worked on The Prince of Egypt.
I did not know that.
Well, he worked on a lot of
Even
things.
when you're talking about the whole director, yeah. Even when you're talking about the whole director doing the movie, I did not know that he did that. And Dinosaur, wow, that takes me back. I still have a DVD of Dinosaur. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, he even did the storyboard for Shrek. He was one of the main guys who was like doing that. He has a big repertoire, and that's good. It could show because like the animation's really well done, especially when you see Thrax when he like touches it was the boat, right?
Yeah, the where he first appears is the boat.
Yeah, like when he destroys building, you can see the expertise on display of how like, you know, a guy who worked with all these big Disney films would do that kind of animation, which is part of the reason people appreciate it so much. Is that it's just like it's very well done. His scenes, especially.
Of course, yeah. Like, when you have someone with that much experience under his belt, then yeah, their field of expertise is gonna have more emphasis and more showmanship in a sense compared to the rest of this film, which had like 3 different directors for the live action version.
No, it's 2 directors for animation, 2 directors for live action.
Oh, never mind, miscounted then. But I gotta admit, like, even so, like some of the human aspects does kind of line up, given the whole 2 directors thing. Like, it does kind of work out in a sense. Like the tone isn't really that different between director and director in the live action sense. Yeah, there's some miss spots in it, but other than that, like, it's completely almost natural.
The only part I truly liked in the live action was the joke about the oyster kid.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh. Yeah, that
Just-
would not fly today.
just him being kind of like a weirdo.
No, not even that. They stated literally he's slow.
Yeah, that
They
was a
legit said
bit-
he's slow.
I feel like it's like that definitely wouldn't fly today. But just him being kind of off kilter
Mm-hmm.
was like kind of funny. And then
Yeah.
like it even weirds out Bill Murray in this thing. So, and then
'Cause, like, You
obviously
could
the
even
ending
tell
when
like
he's
something's
dying.
off with him. Oh,
Yeah.
hold up. You could even tell like before they admitted that he's slow. You could tell something's off with him because instead of saying hypothesis, he said according to my hypotenuse. Then yeah, this should be fine.
Yeah,
Like,
but the only other scene I really liked was the one where at the end, while he's
Mhm.
dying, like just
Huh.
kind of like, I remember back when I was younger, I was like, yeah, there's some realness to this. Like there is something going on.
I just can't get
here.
over the fact that the girl looked like a little hoe. Like
Yeah.
they literally made her look like a hoe.
Yeah, the makeup was definitely like
A
an
poor choice.
interesting choice to have it
Yeah.
be like that. She looked
Especially
kind of
because like
cakey. I think that's the
that's
term.
why. Like the whole thing's like caked down and thrown onto her face. Like it does not blend in well with herself at all.
Well, just anything. Like you're not supposed to have that much kind of stuff
Yeah,
on. But
I mean,
yeah, it's definitely that was. But like the ending itself is very like
yeah, it's more of a touching kind of like touching
it
moment
works. It
in a
works even
sense.
though the rest of it I don't care for, and it does set the stage for like the final scene with
Hmm.
Osmosis and Thrax.
Yeah, I got to admit though, like I didn't really see like Thrax dying like in that sense, like when he died in the whole alcohol thing. I actually thought it'd be a big old fight. In a sense like that, like he would have gone down like the way the old mayor did, like they'd fart him out, something like that.
Oh
I guess
yeah.
like no, that runs the risk of him going back into another body or something like that.
Well, also just the alcohol makes sense, and it
I gotta admit,
does.
this thing does give off some weird crow.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. It's not weird. It's just the context of seeing it right now is what makes it weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes sense. I mean, like the COVID stuff is just a disease, just like Thrax
Yeah.
was, and so a lot of it is true. Be hygienic, eat
Mm-hmm.
healthy, and get a lot of rubbing alcohol.
And takes actual precautions to stay healthy and everything. Because like
Yeah.
he even states like yeah, like the people he's killed, like the first one he did was a little girl who didn't want to wash her hands. I'm like, oh shit, COVID. Yeah, people don't
Yeah.
want to wash their hands and everything.
And yeah, it's just like the
Yeah.
whole film has a lot of parallels you can see right now, which is kind of it gives it Thrax his own horror element that I even like more now. Where it's like, oh man, now you can
Mm-hmm.
really feel like that kind of thing,
Well, I guess we found a new mascot for COVID.
and
It's
also
Thrax.
what else is it? The whole I'm trying to think about it. Or like when he goes on about like the thing that you need is like a mass killing, right? You need to kill a bunch of people in short order to really be remembered or really quickly. You
Well,
need to
yeah.
have one of those things or people don't care about you as a disease. And it's true. If you don't have a lot of deaths and you don't have like the speed to kill, then nobody really cares. Where it's like, oh, it'll take a month, and it's like, or oh, the rate is only so little. Very few people will die, and so like that's why Thrax's reasoning makes a lot of sense. As
Mm-hmm.
people and science really only remembers the diseases like the Black Plague or things like that do so many deaths or do it so quickly that like
Mm-hmm.
it's just boom, you're done if you have it. Which I really like that was like Thrax's reasoning, his role. It makes sense even if you don't know anything. It makes sense just as a character motivation in itself of just wanting to be the best, but having
Mm-hmm.
that extra scientific knowledge, like understanding that of how society sees diseases, it makes it even better.
Yeah, because like, it goes to show like even though this is like a comedy film, like people did their research and things like, oh yeah, this is how the medical world sees the disease and everything and all that other stuff. Like yeah, like these people actually did their research and took time and effort to make sure that it was portrayed in the right way, which actually also surprised me for a movie like this.
Yeah, it's funny too because like the only other film I could think of where it's like the human body but animated is that one TV show that came out a while ago called Cells at Work, which has the same kind of thing about like white and red blood cells and pills and things like that and how it works in the human body. And
Never
like
heard of that.
it's kind of interesting because there's also like a spin-off where it shows like a non-healthy body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the same thing with Osmosis Joan, except for this has the healthy and unhealthy body. Because like the ending is what would happen to a dying body, while the beginning is like how a normal body would mostly be like, except for certain few things,
Huh.
which I kind of like. But yeah, so like the other thing is, if you want to watch, if you saw Osmosis Jones and liked it, the first thing you do is watch the cartoon.
Oh yeah, they have a cartoon of this one. They didn't get Chris Tucker back, but oh, not Chris Tucker. They didn't get Chris Rock back. But did they get Chris Tucker for the TV show? I don't know.
I don't know. I think they got Drix back though.
Yeah, because Drix was. I don't think he was that well known of a voice actor. We'd have to look it up if we ever had the time.
Yeah, he might be, but he's not like a big star, like a big TV movie star at least. He's mostly did animated stuff.
At least
And
to our knowledge right now. Yeah.
and anyways, yeah, the thing is yeah. So you start with that, and then you do Cells of Work because it's basically the closest thing to you'll get to an Osmosis Jones in modern time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this movie's still pretty solid. Animated sections are really good. The live action sections are bearable enough to get through. And
Yeah.
obviously, there's never going to be a movie like it again for a while. It's pretty narrow, kind of niche thing when you get down to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, if it looks interesting to you, you should watch it. It's not something it's something I would, at the very least, recommend. You know,
Yeah.
it's not
It's like something if I was bored or something like that, in a sense like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this one in a long time. Might as well pop it in and see if it still holds up.
or
And
no,
it's that kind of
it's
sense.
this. I would not recommend. Right? It's like I'm not recommending it in that sense. Right? It's like it's not strong enough to have a recommendation, but it's something where you should. Oh, I know. Don't avert. Don't like not watch it. Right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like you can watch it. It's not that you should watch it though. But yeah, I still like it.
All right. Not bad. Yeah. All right. Well, if that's all you had to say about this one, then I guess we'll see you guys in the next video. If you have comments, anything like that, you already know what to do. And see ya.
See ya. What? Stop.